Yeah, I'd like to thank you for having me. It's really weird because besides Dublin last year in the before times, it actually became the first conference that broke my heart because I couldn't travel. And I was like, it was like, yep, we're not gonna. That's when I started realizing my year was not going to go as I planned. And I don't think anybody's year went as they planned last year. And it's an ongoing dumpster fire, so therefore we're still having to work with it. This talk is a little strange. It's like the reason why I chose the kittens is because I always have kittens. The reason why I have the t-shirt, it's going to be obvious. And the reason why I chose that exact shirt is because I'm probably going to be doing a little bit of flaming, and I'm going to probably get some flames back. And I'm probably going to get in some heated discussions about this talk because this was not a talk I planned. This was not if you'll notice, there's no abstract. That's because it hasn't been written yet. I've literally just completed this talk. This was not the talk I planned for this year. My talk this year was going to be hacker striptease. It's like, because I was supposed to be in person and on stage, and I was going to go through and take off all the different tools, all the different things that I used to sneak into companies and break into them. But I realized around November, December, it's like it wasn't going to be soon enough. It's like I was still going to have to be doing virtual, and that I didn't want to start trying to do that and find a way to do that virtually. I wanted to do it for on stage, so it's going to be next year's talk. And I was like, what am I going to talk about? Well, then luckily, some really crappy people did some really crappy things around Christmas. And that gave me the inspiration for this talk. So what this talk is basically going to be about, it's going to be about the stuff that we overlook. It's like I'm looking at two problems, and then I'm going to try to find, I'm going to give my two solutions for it. And we're going to get into that a little bit more. This is my bio page. Hopefully there's some links. It's like I'm on Twitter. My website is jasoneaststreet.com. And if you are adventurous, you can Google the rest. That's the least important slide in the deck. The key thing is, these are my opinions. It's like, because trust me, I already got inflamed for this discussion, okay, for parts of it. Because people didn't like some of the things I were having to say about it. And I was like, whatever, this is how I feel about it. But it's only my opinion, okay? So, and I'm wrong on a lot of things. Not on this. It's like, if you disagree on this, I think you're wrong. But hey, that's just the way it is. But this is what it's about. It's like, it's my discussion, what it's going to be about. So let's start off with the play on words of the title. I hate this t-shirt. This is a crappy t-shirt. This is a disrespectful t-shirt. This is a lame t-shirt. I own this t-shirt. I used to wear this t-shirt unironically, okay? I was like all a hipster wearing it, right? It's like, and it was wrong. I didn't realize it was wrong. I didn't really think it through. It's like we evolve, we educate ourselves, we grow. I mean, that's really weird coming from me saying something like growing up or anything, because it's like, I didn't say I was growing up. Don't worry. That's not happening. It's like, but we grow, we educate, and we grow as people, and we learn. But I remember wearing this shirt. I remember all the jokes about there's no patch for human stupidity. That's why social engineering is so easy. And I was like, and I bought into that for a while. And then I started learning how wrong I was on that, and how toxic our industry has become to users, the ones that we're actually supposed to be protecting. I mean, we're supposed to be fighting for the users, and it's like, and we treat them like this. You thought the shirt was bad. This chaps my hide. It's like, if you get a little texting in me, it's like every time I see this, I'm livid about this comic. It's like, in this corner, we have firewalls, encryption, antivirus software, and in this corner, we have Dave, human error. It's like totally trying to make information security, everybody's supposed to make it look like that's the problem. The human is the problem. The user, the person that you're supposed to be protecting is your problem. I'm like, what are you talking about? What it appears to me to be the problem is all that technology you don't know how to use. You don't know how to implement. You're not properly putting in place to protect your users. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we got to stop saying stupid user clicked on a link, stupid user went to a website, and start saying stupid information security didn't properly train and prepare their users. Stop getting technology to protect your users and start getting your users to protect your technology. I hate this cartoon so much and have complained about it so much that my boss, Jayson Burns, literally contacted the artist of the comic strip and had him redo it to make it done properly. That's your user. He is not a liability. She is not someone that you have to be worried about. They are someone that are, if you train them, if you keep them properly informed and let them know that they're part of your team from day one, they're your biggest ally. They're one of your best assets. They're the best intrusion detection system you're ever going to have. But we don't properly train them. We don't properly educate them on that. And that's our failing, not theirs. They will do what is required for them to keep and get a paycheck, keep their job and get a paycheck. We're not telling them that's part of the responsibility, so they don't have to worry about it. But let's we're gonna circle back to that in a little bit. But let's start off with the first problem. Offensive teams don't have to be so offensive. It's like, and straight out, it's like, and what I'm getting with this is, and I'm gonna talk about it in depth because it just really irritates me so much. Red teams. What are their functions, right? What is a red team function? I hear, and I mean, I hear so many people come up to me and say, "Hey, John, I want to be a red teamer. Oh, I want to be on the red team, Jayson." It's like, how do I do what you do? And I'm like, first of all, I don't do red team, but whatever. It's like, but that's a different story. It's like they want to be, and like, so why do you want to do this? Like, because I want to break stuff. It's like, I want to be able to break in on me. Then you're useless. If you think red teaming is about breaking into networks, then you don't understand the job. Red team only exists as a function is to make the blue team better. Their job is there to help the blue team, not show them how they got pwned, not to walk in and show them what they did wrong. It is to make them better and more secure. They're there only as a function for the blue team, for their clients. But we've turned like red team being sexy, or it's like, it's like rock stars in the red team. It's like, where did we get that? You want to know first of all, there's no rock stars. It's like, we're freaking dentists of the internet here. It's like, but the people that deserve a lot of credit are the blue teamers, the ones that are doing that day job in and day out, manning the firewalls, creating the intrusion detection system rules, working nonstop when an incident occurs, when a new vulnerability is out and all the systems have to be patched before they get compromised, or responding after they've been compromised. That's work. Going in and knocking down your Legos and saying, should have fixed that, doesn't impress me. Get the work done. I'm so tired of red teamers acting like their job is to kick people when they're down. This irritates the crap out of me. This is, to me, what I see a lot of red teamers probably wearing on the weekend. One thing that all these three people have in common, probably never been in a real effing fight. It's like, I've learned one thing over the years and the decades that I've been. If I used to be homeless, it's like I used to live on the street. I've had some scraps, and I never had to wear a shirt to show someone how tough I was. I never had to. I didn't want people to know how tough I was. I didn't want to look threatening. I didn't want to be seen as a threat. It's like there's a good rap lyric, real killers move in silence. There's a lot of loud talkers we got in this industry. trying to act tough, trying to like overcompensate for something, acting like they're the king all of breaking in and destroying stuff, when they should be talking about how they help and how they help networks and help companies better protect themselves. It's like we get this attitude where it's so offensive, where it's like we're so on edge and we're so edgy and and we've turned red team into a like some kind of fetish little like, icon of like, that's what you got to be. That's your ultimate goal is to eventually be on the red team, to eventually be on the offensive side security, because blue teams are for suckers. And it's like, I built networks. It's like at banks, it's like, and I loved it as a blue team. That was one of my best jobs. It's like, that was amazing because I would create defenses and I would be able to detect when a bad guy came in, when a criminal gets on my network, I'm like, I knew you'd try that because that's what I would do. And by the way, that's why you're being logged and that's why you're being reported and that's why you're being blocked. Have fun in jail. Talk to you later. We're FDIC insured. That's a felony, you're going down, right? I love that. That's fun. So miss me with that noise about, red team being the ultimate. It's like, that's not the ultimate. Doing what you love is the ultimate. Doing what helps others is the ultimate. It's like, it doesn't matter what, virtual side you are, because there is no side. There is no red team versus blue team. Look, red team works for the blue team. So there is no side. So, and one of the things that gets me, and it's always bugged me, and I've never really talked about it, but it's like, I got to call it out because it's like, and this is a saying that I've heard from so many people. It is so pervasive in our industry. This quote, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. That sounds dangerous. That sounds tough. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Well, first of all, I don't take advice from convicted rapists who went to prison for it, who then gets out, does some more boxing, and then when they start getting punched in the face, their plan of action was to bite the guy on the ear. Sorry, he's not my life coach. I'm not getting advice from that dude. So I can't help it. It's ridiculous. And also, you think Mike Tyson was smart enough to come up with that plan? That's not even an original thought. That's not even an original thought from him. He stole this from this guy. You see the next slide? Because I don't see the next slide. There we go. Okay. He stole the quote from this guy. No battle plan ever survives contact with the enemy. Helmuth von Moltke the Elder was a Prussian general, born October 26, 1800. It's like, that was the original plan. And you know what that whole thing was? The whole root of that quote? It wasn't to show how bad the red team was going to be and how the offensive team was going to come in and kick butt and take names. It was a warning to red teams that once you go in and start conducting your battle, guess what? You're going to be surprised with what the defenses are, by what occurs on the battlefield. This was made to warn people who were doing offensive attacks, not for the defenders. This wasn't for the defense side and stuff. This was a warning for the people who were doing the offensive attack. It's like, and so of course it got bastardized by Tyson. It's like it turned into a t-shirt and a nice, cool saying. But the reason why I bring that up, because I'm not casting shade, the reason why I bring that up is this whole attitude of negativity and offensive and aggressive attitude of red teamers has a worse problem. It has bled off into the blue team. This attitude that that the red team has to attack the blue team, show them no mercy, totally pwn them so they get to hey, we got it. We got the win. We broke them. It's like, well, guess what? When you abuse someone, it's like they find someone else to abuse. It's like it's a vicious cycle that's very hard to break, that we need to break in this community, because now the blue teams are like, crap. It's like they totally destroy. It's like, You know what? I blame the users on this. I've got to break them. I got to use the same attacks that they were using on me, that the red team used on me. I'm going to use them on my users and show them where they failed. I'm going to show where it's like the user's problem for clicking links and going on things. It wasn't my fault. My network was doing great. Why am I getting in trouble for that? And so they bring it to the users. They turn that at thing and they start justifying themselves. Well, we're just trying to use the same things that attacker uses. We're still trying to do what, how that works. BS. It's like you see how the red teamers act and you want to be like them and you want to act like them and you take it out on the users and stuff, because they don't have a say in it. Case in point, and the origination of this talk, Christmas 2020. I mean, let's face it, the whole year was an effing dumpster fire. It's like, if you think the pandemic was a problem, it's like, I mean, come on, where were you? It's like we still had murder hornets to deal with, right? It's like, I mean, there's all kinds of things going on in 2020. It's like, I can tell you that there was a lot of shell shock and it's hard to keep up with every single pathetic, horrible thing that happened. But one of the things that did it, that sort of hit the top of the radar for me and should have hit it in this industry, was freaking GoDaddy. Oh, I'm calling them out. Thank goodness you're not a sponsor. Didn't matter. It's like, but at least it's a little bit less awkward, right? These effers decide to go and say, hey, during the middle of a pandemic, when people still don't know how they're going to feed and clothe their children to the rest of it, who are trying to also be teachers now while they work from home, not knowing if they're going to have enough money for rent, not enough for their house, it's like, or for anything else. It's like, let's tell them that they're going to get a bonus, a Christmas bonus. Scrooge looked at him. Scrooge was in his grave going, damn, that's cold. I mean, seriously. How can you do that? And do you know what I kept hearing from the information security community, from red teamers, made me sick? Was, that's what an attacker would do. It's just a real world adversarial simulation, because a criminal would do that fish, Jayson. Why are you so upset with that? You seem a little ranty right now. It's like, you shouldn't be so upset. Because it is wrong. I do active simulations and attacker simulations. I have done some horrible fish. I've used the murder of children in my fishes as demonstrations. Never once have I sent an email out to a person that unduly made them stressed, influenced, or got their hopes up that they wouldn't get it. It's like, that is wrong. They are great for demonstrations, for showing people how bad it can be. That's how you do that. You show the executives, these are some of the case scenarios of what kind of emails you could send out to someone and how horrible they can be. Definitely give them those kind of demonstrations. You don't send those to the end users. It's like, I've used a badge reader to clone ID badges to get into a building. That's an active attack. But you know what else would be a good attack? If I really wanted to do a good real world scenario, it's like, and I'm a criminal and I'm doing an attacker simulation, why am I not going up to the guy when he's going into the parking garage, putting a gun to his head and saying, give me your badge and get in the trunk of your car because I need to use your ID to go rob your place? That's a little extreme, Jayson. You think? It's what an attacker would do. I could see a criminal doing that. It's like, I mean, I've seen that in several different, movies. It's like, so it's got to be real, right? We got to do the stuff that an attacker does. So why aren't we doing that? It's like, I need to get into the building. Why won't the client let me use explosives to get through the wall? It's what an attacker would do. That's stupid. And it sounds stupid saying it. It's even more stupid to do things like this. But don't worry. It's like everybody thought like that's 2020, Jayson. It's 2021 now. Oh no, it's still, the dumpster fire is still going. It's like we've added some sparklers and some like pretty fireworks. Every once in a while, they'll go off and they're like, oh, that's nice. And then more dumpster fire. Okay. It's still a dumpster fire. This librarian actually said, friend librarian wrote, I'm double masking, eating lunch in my car, and spending time on my days off to advocate for vaccines for library workers. And today my employer sent a phishing test in the form of a fake vaccine notification email to all employees. I'm livid. Mother, livid. I would be like, oh, no, that's not going to stand. It's like I'd be laying hands at this point. It's like you are messing with people's lives at this point. Telling them that they can get a vaccine, telling them that they can get, there's hope, and then going, yoink, you shouldn't have clicked that link. You're not getting a vaccine, you're getting a write-up. Are you kidding me? And one of the things that gets me is like, and this is the email, reserve your COVID-19 vaccine today. I am telling you, there is a special place in hell for people like that, okay? People who do this are right up there with the spam callers, Microsoft call center, employees trying to house you. It's like not the real Microsoft, but the fake Microsoft to call place, and the people who put Nickelback in elevator music. It's like there's a special hell for you, okay? Straight out. It's like that is just wrong. And guess what? You may have not had an insider threat before those emails, but I promise you got one now. Do you want how do you make disgruntled employees? You take gruntled employees and you diss them. You get their hopes up, you crush them, you ground them down, you tell them things like this, you treat them as suspects, you treat them as enemies, you treat them as enemy combatants, you treat them as untrusted. You do not treat them as allies. You do not treat them part of your time. And congratulations, you've got disgruntled employees. Do you think the only people that were upset about those emails were the ones that clicked the link? Every employee, after they heard that, was upset. Your threat pool increased dramatically that day for both those companies. Horrendous. They're bad, and they should feel bad about it, because that's not what you do. So it's like you're not helping your situation. So you got to understand the red teamers, the pen testers, once they're done with the engagement, they're gone. Poof, like the wind, They ride off in the sunset because they're cool, probably on a chopper and stuff, It's like, because that's how they imagine themselves, I'm sure, with the wind blowing, all bull crap, okay? They're gone. Who picks up the pieces? The client, the employer. They have to now start working and making sure that those flaws are corrected, but also confidence is restored, because the red teamers aren't caring about what actually gets done or who got hurt. And I'm not saying, before anybody starts hashtagging me, not all red teamers, okay? It's like, I'm not saying all red teamers, okay? So screw that. It's like, but the majority of what I've seen, it has been like that, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of just not fixing the problem. So, solution number one, because I come with solutions. It's like I'm not one of those speakers who likes to say, look how much I broke this. I don't know how to fix it, but I broke it really good. It's like, because like I said, I'm not a red teamer. It's like, so you got to learn to lose so the clients can learn to win. And very simple, and let me break it down. It's like, I've made that mistake before. It's like, I have done this. It's like, I hate hypocrites the most, and I get hypocritical sometimes, but I try not to as much as possible. I have done this. Everything that I talked about bad about a red teamer, with the attitude, with the approach, I have done. It's like I have broken into places and just gone, hey, oh man, that is like bad. It's like I have broken in badly. It's like I have done things that have upset people. I promised people I was like, it was on the spur of the moment. I told the bank manager I was going to give him all this equipment, and I had to tell him no. I've told people, it's like, oh, this is what's going to happen, and I've disappointed them. It's like, so I have done that. But the most important thing I realized I was doing that was hurting them the most was I wasn't giving them a win. I was just kicking them. I kicked them some more, and I'm like, oh, you look a little down. Wait, hold on, I got something for you. Another kick. And it's like, and that was because I thought that's what my job was. I thought my job was to punch people in faces and see if they had a plan. I didn't realize people may not react kindly to that. I didn't realize, not everybody likes you going into their company and saying how ugly their baby is. And I've seen some pretty ugly babies, but people may not respond to that properly. All the best intentions. So I learned something. It was on this one job where I learned the importance of giving them a win. Where it's like I had a choice where I could have left after I successfully compromised their location. I could have left, but I saw the employee down the hallway who had let me in the door, who messed up, who failed and let me in the door. But I saw the looks on her face. I saw her talking to another employee. They were discussing me. She knew she had made a mistake. She was trying to correct it. And I could have left and made the win. Woohoo! Red team once again. Score. Or I could keep going and let them catch me. I could let them fix their mistake and catch me. And that changed my whole life and my whole outlook on how to do red teaming. And that's the reason why I don't red team anymore. I am a security awareness operative. It's like someone from Hacking the Box gave me that, and I appreciate it. It's like, that's what I call myself now. I am a security awareness operative. I do security awareness engagements. I'm there to teach employees. I do a 3-day engagement. The first day is mostly recon, maybe some light, breaking in or some light looking around, see what I can get into, causing some mischief. Day 2, I am the worst possible thing to happen to you at the worst possible time in the worst possible way. It's like I'm great at parties. I just go in and I try to tear you up. And then on the 3rd day, I get caught. The 3rd day, I work at it. And trust me, I've had to work at it, but I will get caught by your employees. Because I will not just give them something to look down on. I will give them something to look up to. On the 2nd day, after every engagement, I wait for about 2 minutes, and then I come back in and I talk to every single person. I don't fill out a report. I don't write a report and give them a memo for 3 months later. I educate them right then and there. And that takes time, and that takes effort, because people don't like hearing what you just did in the moment. But you have to let them know, hey, you did this. This was wrong. I'm a bad guy. I was doing bad things. Now you know the next time someone like me comes in, it's not going to be me, but they try to do stuff like that. Now you know that's bad. I shouldn't do that. Do you have the number to contact for security so you can contact them the next time something like that happens? Do you know what to do the next time you see someone that's suspicious? Good. Because that's what you needed to know. That's what you need to learn. The company hired me not to file a report on what you did wrong. Your company hired me to educate you and give you a training exercise so you would be better prepared for if a real attack happened. Just that conversation alone will create allies in your infrastructure. It'll create people that feel like you're trying to help empower them and educate them and make them better at their job, instead of someone trying to break something and get a gotcha and just show a finding that they failed on. And trust me, they get pissed. I had one lady who, after I told them, And I had already talked to the client. I talked to the person, my point of contact. I talked to the head of their IT department, who I was like after the compromise, and explained. And then I went back and started doing the education to all the employees that I compromised. I came across this one lady. She's like, "I'm calling the police," and I'm like, "Huh?" So, "Oh, if you're not supposed to be here," I'm going, "No. I wasn't supposed to be here before, but I'm supposed to be here now. I was showing you." No, I'm gonna call. I'm like, it doesn't work like that. You're just being a sore loser at this point. It's like, I've already won. I'm just letting you know the game's over. You can't do callbacksies. It doesn't work that way. That's not how this works. It's not how any of this works. So I've had situations where they've been very upset. But if any social engineer worth their weight in salt, it's like, should be able to at least social engineer themselves out of that. They should be at least to social engineer the employees that they've compromised into feeling better about the engagement. It's like, because that's some real work. Anybody can walk into a building and plug in a USB drive or tell people they're with IT and they need to do an audit. I mean, I know anybody can do that because I do that. And if I can do it, anybody can, okay? I am not sophisticated any way, shape, or form. It's like, ask anybody who's seen me eat. It's like, I am not a sophisticated person. It's like, so you got to understand that that's the main part of your job, is to educate the users, to educate the employees on what their failings were and how to improve on it. So solution 2, it leads right into it. We have to start educating and empowering your employees, plus enforcing the actual policies that help. I've literally got this article on this, if you want to look at it, about the 3 E's. It's like, trust me, I've been harping on this for a decade or more. It's like, this is very important that we need to get doing more in our environment. The first one is educating. You cannot educate your employees with a quarterly little seminar or video or something telling them about what their policies are, your computer policies are. That doesn't work. They need to know on day 1 of orientation that, guess what? Your job responsibilities are what we hired you for this, and this, and also securing your equipment. You're responsible for securing your equipment, to making sure you secure your email communications by not clicking unknown links, by not going to unknown websites, to maintaining security on your equipment that the company has given you. That is company equipment you're responsible for. Give them the responsibility. Let them understand the gravity of that situation. And guess what? They're still not going to care about your data, but they're going to know that they'll lose their job if they don't. They'll start understanding that that has always been a responsibility of theirs. It's not an afterthought. It's not something that's been tacked on afterwards. Because if we're not training them immediately what to do on day 1 and how to secure themselves and how to report the problems, then we can't get mad when they keep getting compromised. And we need to start empowering them. We can't just educate them. We need to get them involved. It's like I've done talks, I've done training classes on how to create security awareness programs. And one of the biggest things that companies can do is to actually get your employees involved in your information security program in a fun way. Because security ain't fun. I mean, for me, it's a blast. But, for most people, it's not fun. It's like, so you've got to show Bob in accounting what's in it for him. And the best way to do that is to actually get them involved. Say, hey, company-wide, every quarter, we're giving out $1,000, which is about 50 euros or something. I don't know. But we're giving out $1,000. It's like every quarter in a drawing. Amazon gift card, whatever, just whatever kind of card. And you do that. And that way your budget doesn't change. It's going to be $1,000 every quarter. But the people you participate that get involved in the raffle will increase. And you do it very simply. If you report a suspicious email, 1 entry into the drawing. If that suspicious email turned out to be a actual fish, you get 20 entries. You stop someone at the gate because they don't have their badge, that's 10 points. It doesn't matter. Come up with your own rules, but make it a competition, because guess what? Your employees still don't care about your data. But that's $1,000 is $1,000, right? You know, it's like that's something. They care about that. They care about getting that entry into the raffle. So get them involved. Make it a competition. Stop making it like it's extra work for them. Make it where it's a part of their job responsibility. And hey, there might be a bonus involved. That's how you empower your employees. And then also another little flame war that I started was because, yes, Jayson was seen in a talk saying that you should fire people that clicked on a link. Yeah. If you have a delivery driver who totals your $70,000 van, you might give them a talking to. If they crash your van 3 times, seriously, you know they're not your still employee after the first one. So that's what you have to do with phishing. Someone clicks a link on a suspicious email and goes somewhere they're not supposed to and causes an incident. Write them up. Take them to a specialized, intense class, specifically where it's a one-on-one with another security professional and the person, the guilty party, and give them the class on why they need to take email security more seriously. The second email they click, they get another talking to, they get another class, but then they get restrictions on their email. Then they get maybe monitoring software put on their email saying, it's like, hey, we're going to need, sorry, but this is a probationary period for the next 3 months. We're going to have to monitor this. We can't trust you with the emails. You're clicking them. Show them there's repercussions to it. And on the third time that they click the link, that's a malicious, they're gone. Fire them. We fire employees over less. Employees clicking a link can cost $300 million. Ask Target. Wasn't even their company. It was the HVAC company guy clicked on a link. Cost him over $300 million. That's a lot of vans. That's a lot of crashed vans right there. Is that employee still working there? Maybe, because it was just an email. Just click on an email. So we need to start doing better with that. And one important thing that we have to get through more than anything else is there is a patch for human stupidity. It's called education. And people who say otherwise are stupid. So miss me with that noise, okay? Because I'm tired of hearing it. It's like if you're constantly going into a company and you're going in with the same exploit. And I've heard red teamers brag like, oh my gosh, I broke into this one company. Oh yeah. Same exploit. I used the same exploit from last year and I got in. Isn't that hilarious? No, you're pathetic. Okay. It's like, that means you were such a lousy job of talking to your client and explain to them what the threats were and what the risks were, that you allowed them to get compromised with the same exploit. You should be ashamed of yourself. One of the best jobs I've ever done was in January of 2020, before everything went to, heck. But, 2020 January, you know what happened in that job? The best job I've ever done. I got caught like a mofo. Oh my gosh. Brand new receptionist. Never seen me before. It's not like, they knew you from the year before. No, they didn't. I changed my look up. I was in disguises. I was like Inspector Clouseau. But no, I was in disguises and everything. It's like not very good ones because, I'm on a budget. But still, this was an employee who'd never seen me before. stopped me out of the gate. I was so impressed. I still compromised the client. I still gave them value. I still showed them some flaws they needed to work on. But man, every section I went to, I eventually had an employee who said, no, I don't know who you are. I'm going to have to talk to security. I need to talk to the IT department. Who's your supervisor? No, you're not allowed to touch my computer unless there's been an email or I've been notified that you were coming and I haven't been, so I can't help you. It still gets good. It was one of the best. I was like a school kid. I was so effing happy. I mean, and this wasn't me trying to fail. This wasn't me trying to give them a win. These were winning. They were doing their job because I taught them. I gave them a lesson the year before. I showed them all that did was verify that I did a good job the year before, and also a good job on them because they deserve credit too because they took it seriously and the management worked with it and took those findings and they implemented the suggestions and they continued educating their employees. That's a win. Not going back the same next year and getting with the same exploit. That's pathetic. So I told you, cats with laser eyes. I was burning stuff down. But, here's where we get that. Well, it's a virtual, so we're going to get uncomfortable mental silence anyway. That's to let you know I'm just done. Any questions? Anybody want to, start with the screaming at me or, telling me how I'm wrong first, or you going to wait till put that on Twitter? I don't care, whichever. So, go for it.
So, guys, anybody watching this stream on Swap Card, on the bottom right of your screen, there is a live discussion tab. You can open that up, go into the questions section and throw in any questions you have. Until questions start coming through, actually, Jayson, we had a discussion, like a little chat going on Swap Card. And there are so many people who resonate with what you're saying. There was basically discussion saying there seems to be like this macho attitude for red teamers, which doesn't really work. One of the people watching your talk there was saying he really prefers to be an advocate for doing things right. He is a red teamer, and he much prefers the feeling of finding something that's gone wrong and actually going to the people who are supporting the application or system, whatever that might be, and actually help them secure that. And that's absolutely the way to go. And this is how you make allies and kind of embed the security mindset to the other teams, rather than being the person who's out to get them. That really doesn't work.
And we talk about macho. That's one of the things that's one of the funniest things about the whole freaking red team mystique. Because you know why? You want to know the top 5 best red teamers out there? All women. It's like you want to know some real good red teamers. It's like, if you want someone that's going to be able to get a woman on your team, okay? Because men are so short-sighted and so narrow-minded and stuff, it's like they're usually pretty quick at circumventing any kind of control. It's like, and they're good at their jobs. It's like they're good at the tech. They're good at social engineering and they're good at breaking into places. It's like, trust me, it's like I can do it pretty overt, just like going in with the help desk. It's like yes, I can name at least 5 people that are way better than I am. I can name at least 20 people that are better than I am. But the top 5 are all women.
And we're also talking about the educate, and obviously if something is wrong, you need to educate the employees.
Definitely.
And obviously that's from my experience, but I've worked in about 7 different companies in my career so far. Everybody wants to do it, or because they have to do it. It's some sort of, audit thing. You have to have your security training program in place. And as most of us know, this does entail those lengthy policies, death by PowerPoint and all that, read through 100 pages of the information security policy. Have you done that? Yeah, but nobody wants to spend the money for the stuff that really works. And there's one place I've worked in the past, I won't say who, and it was actually the only place where I found the training program interesting. Now, I'm a security professional. I do find security stuff interesting, but even I can't sit through all those, 10-page policies. But at that one place, they actually spent the money and used third-party software for it. Obviously, I can't say who they are because it might be seen as advertising. But it was basically really snappy and funny, like 2 to 3 minute videos. It was so funny that you actually enjoyed every time I got a notification that, a new video has been added to your security channel. I was like, stop, whatever it is I'm doing, I'm going in there and I'm going to watch the video. And it's the stuff you remember. Obviously, I never learned anything new because, thank God, I already had that that knowledge already. But for somebody who isn't, this was such a great way to actually get them engaged. And you're talking about the gamification as well. Each video you watched, you're on different points and badges and all that. So there was competition going on, who is going to get the half day off because, they're
right.
ranked top. That stuff actually works.
Well, that's good. Yeah, exactly. I'm actually working on a security awareness thing for companies right now, and it's all funny. It's like, because my whole thing is like I try to be funny through the talk. I mean, there'll be debating about if that actually worked or not, but I like to be humorous through my whole talk because if you're laughing, you're paying attention and you're awake. It's like, so I try to keep it engaging because I want them to understand what I'm saying, not just like, or just waiting for what's the next weird or wacky thing he's going to say. It's like, and they're still listening to it.
We have 1 minute. I have 2 questions. I'm not sure we can get through them, so I'll fire them off quickly. Have you found that firing people for clicking on phishing links has encouraged compliance and increased company security of any company?
I don't have any hard data on that. It's like, I'm not, trust me, if I don't know an answer, it's like, I'm not one of those people who can be acting like I do. It's like, I'll tell you straight out. It's like, I don't know the answer to that. I am telling you this though, we fire employees for misusing company resources all the time. We fire employees for going to adult websites or other sites that they're not. Why aren't we treating malicious spam websites or malicious links or phishing email sites the same as we do porn sites? They're sites that they shouldn't be going to. It's like, and they should be, and after the third try, sometimes they just want to see it. And it's like, and that's not someone you should have in your company.
Brilliant. Okay, we've reached the end of our time. Thank you very much, Jayson. I hope you enjoy some sleep now.
Yep. Time to go to bed now. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciated it. It's like, hopefully I won't wake up to too many flame wars when I get up, but I do appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Jayson.